Hello friends, welcome to Shiksharthi. In this video, we will discuss various methods of finding out the solutions for two linear equations. So let's start. So I hope by now you have seen all my videos on linear equations because all of them are interconnected and they are stepping up one after the other. So I am taking the same set of equations. So you will see that there are various methods. Methods are elimination method, substitution method, cross multiplication method, whichever method you would use, but the answer should be the same. So now if I say these are two equations which are given to you, we know that if I had to represent them graphically, given that none of their coefficients is equal to a 0, none of these, and assuming that all these coefficients are positive except for C. Now if I take all of them as positive, in which quadrant would they lie? So if you recollect the discussion that I had done with you, if I were to find out that this equation gives rise to x-intercept and y-intercepts, the x and the y-intercepts which would lie in which quadrant? So I know that here from x, when I put y is equal to 0 in either of the equations, I get x as negative, I get y also as negative, which blindly now you can say that this line will definitely pass through the third quadrant. Now if this line is passing through the third quadrant, at the same time it cannot pass through the first quadrant. This was a puzzle that I had given to you in my earlier video. Why can't it pass through the first quadrant? Because if there is a line which is passing through the third quadrant, let us say like this, if there is a line which is passing through the third quadrant, at the same time it cannot pass through the first quadrant, because then you're talking about a line which is almost parallel or may not be exactly parallel, but then it cannot pass at the same time through the first quadrant. So it will never pass through the first quadrant. In that case, this line passes through which quadrant? It passes through second, third and fourth. Similarly, a line which passes through first quadrant will not pass through the third quadrant. It will pass through first, second and fourth. This was a small puzzle that I had given to you, and this we are basically talking about those lines which are not passing through the origin. Okay, coming back. Now if I have to solve these set of equations, let us first talk about the elimination method. So if I talk about the elimination method, now the elimination method itself gives rise to other methods. The elimination method itself gives rise to other methods. But anyway, now elimination method is either I eliminate x or I eliminate y. Let us say I want to eliminate x. In that case, the coefficient of x should become a1, a2. So I multiply this equation with a2 and this becomes what? Into a1. And then I subtract both the equations. So when I subtract both the equations, this gets eliminated. I am left with what? Y times of a2b1 minus a1b2 plus a2c1 minus a1c2. So when I solve for y, I can say that this goes on the other hand side, which is just like saying a1c2 minus a2c1 divided by a2b1 minus a1b2. Right? There are other ways also of deducing this. Why did we get it like this only? But anyway, I am not getting into that. Now if I were to eliminate y, I would have multiplied the set of equations with what? The coefficients of y only. So in that case, I would have multiplied this with b2 and this I would have multiplied with b1. So in that case, I would have got the value of x as so b1. Now this becomes a1 b2. So it again goes down. So can I say now when it goes down, so here I was getting b1 a2 minus b2 a1. So here can I use the same matrix? Let's see. And what will I get in the numerator? So can I say a1 c2 No, I'll say B1 C2 minus, let's see the answer that we have written here is correct or not. So in that case, what are we supposed to do? We are just supposed to multiply this as we discussed earlier. We will just multiply this with, we'll just remove this and see whether the answer that we have got here is correct or not. So this we'll multiply with B2 and this we multiply with B1 and then we subtract. So when we subtract, this gets cancelled out and we get x times of B2 . So now when this goes on the other hand side, what are we getting? So we are getting, the numerator remains the same. So when this goes on the other hand side, this becomes plus and this becomes minus. So B1 C2, but the denominator comes out to be A1 B2. So this has to be written as minus followed by plus. So this is where you get an answer only when you are trying to work this. Now once you have already worked this out, it becomes easier for you now to understand something. So when I am taking the coefficient of x, let's say I want to find out the value of x. So please remember to go like this. So let's say this is a sign, you are using the method of cross. Cross means you are coming from up to down. Now when you are coming from up to down, what am I suggesting here? I am suggesting here is B1 C2. You come from up to down, which is B1 C2. So I'll write it down once again. So x is nothing but you come down up to down, and when you're talking about x, the value of x, you're talking about the common solution for these set of equations. In that case, in order to find out the value of x, what would you do? When you're finding out the value of x, you will not talk about the coefficients of x, you will talk about the other coefficients, which is just like saying B1 C2 up to down and then down to up minus B2 C1 divided by what? Now in that case, when you're dividing, you will not talk about the constant terms, you will only talk about A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Now when you're talking about y, so when I'm talking about y, so you will see that the numerator has what? A1 C2 minus A2 C1. So you're coming from top to bottom only, bottom to up, which is A1 C2. A1 C2 minus A2 C1. In the denominator, I'm having just the reverse of this. So I want to make both the denominators the same. So in that case, we are saying A1 B2 minus A2 B1, and then I put as minus times of this. Please make a note of this. So it becomes very easy because both the denominators now are equal and their numerators are unequal. So if I have to rewrite this, can I say x divided by B1 C2 minus B2 C1? X divided by B1 C2 minus B2 C1 is equal to just like saying minus y divided by A1 C2 minus A2 C1 minus y A1 C2 is equal to 1 divided by, so now when you're taking this down, so you will basically say this is nothing but 1 divided by A1 B2 minus A2 B1. So you will see that the elimination method makes the things so easy for you that I would always advocate that you should be using elimination method only rather than using any other method unless specified otherwise. For example, if they talk about the substitution method, then you need to find out the value of x from here, then you need to find out the value of x from here, maybe substitute it in the second equation and then solve for y. This is how you substitute. But this by far, I would say, this is a superlative method and it really helps you. This method further on in higher maths, we will be discussing matrices and determinants from here itself. So this becomes a stepping stone for determinants matrices when we talk about Cramer's rule. So to close finally, can we say that in our earlier video we had talked about unique solution. So when I am talking about a unique solution wherein the slopes of two lines are not equal to each other, it is just we will always get a consistent solution. So a unique and consistent solution. In the other case, when we are talking about now just the case opposite to this, wherein you are getting solutions, in both these cases you are getting solutions, but in one case you are getting only one solution, in other case you are getting so many solutions, right? In both these cases you will always have consistent solution only. The equations, the linear equations will be consistent with each other, with a small difference. The small difference would be here the slope is not equal, here the slopes are equal. And here if I talk about this case when there were two parallel lines but the parallel lines were not intersecting with each other, in this case the pair of equations would be inconsistent and you will not be getting any solution. So inconsistent and no solution, consistent and only one solution, consistent and so many solutions. When you say infinitely many solutions, and you don't even say this, you will say that all the equations in this case will be dependent on each other. Why dependent? Because you convert it into ratios. So all the ratios will be dependent on the basic ratio, the simplest form of a ratio that you would have written, right? I hope that you would have learned something informative or knowledgeable today. If you feel the same, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. If you have already done so, click on the bell icon and select all so that you get regular updates from us. If you want us to do some videos on specific topics, don't hesitate, put it in the comment section so that we can do it for you. Thank you so much. Until next we meet, goodbye.